All right, welcome back to Week 10 of Kappas Coach's Corner. We have Coach Kappas with us tonight, coming off of a loss last week to LaSalle in a tough battle. Good game played by both teams. Louisville is currently 5-4, heading into Week 10 versus 0-9 Wooster Generals, and currently at position number 12 in the D2 Region 7, holding on to that last playoff spot. Coach Kappas, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me back.
Absolutely. It's been 10 weeks. It's been an enjoyable 10 weeks. I appreciate you coming in. I know you're a busy guy. Kind of talk about maybe where we're at the program. I think a lot of your teams are pretty much done. Are you having a JV game this week? I know you've done that in the past.
Yeah, planning on it. With the quarterback situation, that might kind of be up in the air, and just kind of seeing how we get through the game Friday night. But right now, we're still planning on having that game. So one more JV game with an undefeated season on the line there for that group. But freshmen, we ended up having to cancel the Jackson. We were scheduled to play Jackson this week in freshman game. We only had 11 available players for freshmen.
Wow.
So we got beat up there. So that group's done. But we got all those guys practicing with us that are still available. And it was a nice cold day at practice today. It felt like playoff weather, so it was fun.
It's one of those days as a retired coach now. I was like appreciating not being out there today. But you haven't had many of those. So
No. Yeah, we've been fortunate with the weather, and it's good for these guys to experience that type of weather, because that's what playoff football is every single year. And obviously been through that a lot at Mount Union, and used to that, but none of these guys have any experience in that. So it's good for them to
You're right about that. Now, Coach, before we go into anything else, and about that JV game and the possibility of it, I know I've spoken before on our show about your commitment to the JV team, and I know your commitment to developing players. And just want to point out that there's not a lot of teams that will play a JV game on Week 10. And I respect the fact that you do that. And I know last year and the year before, the kids really enjoyed those games.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, anytime those kids get an opportunity, it's a blessing to have the opportunity to go out and play football. And, we try to preach that. And like last week, LaSalle obviously wasn't going to come. We weren't going to go down there for a JV game. It was just kind of a Friday night deal. So we booked an away trip to Talmadge. And our guys went up there. We didn't have a quarterback. We don't even have a quarterback left on our roster. So we had some athletes playing quarterback, and those guys did their best to throw the ball around a little bit, but we had to get creative a little bit to create some offense when we needed some longer yardage plays. And it's just those guys have a lot of fun in JV. Our coaches are doing a great job of coaching that up and developing a plan and keeping it fresh for them. And it's just a great way for experience, because at the end of the day, these guys are going to be out there on Friday nights here in a year or two, and we got a lot of good players that every opportunity they get, they take those opportunities and develop.
Yeah, every player that goes to practice wants to play in a game, and that gives them a number of opportunity to play. It's great. All right, Coach, we're going to go into the game a little bit. Tough battle. I thought that Louisville did a good job staying, just continuing to work throughout the game and playing to the end of time. In terms of time, regulation time ran out, but a hard-fought game against a really good opponent.
Yeah, I mean that's a perennial state contender every single year, and they have a chance again to go deep in the playoffs with a really good team. And it was great for our kids to see what that looks like, because that's our goal, is to get our program to a year in and year out team that's going to go deep in the playoffs and make some state championship runs. And I thought our kids played hard. There's quite a few plays where it looked like we were either tired or just got out physical at times. And I think a lot of kids would like to have some of those missed tackles back or missed blocks or whatever they were. But when you play a team like that has guys mostly playing one way, they did a good job of having a plan that wore us down a little bit as the game went on, and their size and depth showed up as the kind of second half went on. But our guys never quit. That's what we were always preaching, that it's always alive till the last play of the game, and the clock hits zero. And I was proud of our guys about that. But we made some really good plays. Some of our best players played some of their best games against probably the best team that we've played this year. So that was good to see.
Was the tempo, their offensive tempo, was that something new Friday night for them?
Yeah, usually you can tell on tape. I mean, the plays are always cut up, so you can't really see between the plays. But when a team's going fast, usually you see the yard markers getting not set yet, or defense is not set yet. So we didn't really get a hint of that. And from other coaches I talked to, that played them, they didn't really say there was much tempo involved. So that was, a good plan for them, good change up. And, I take credit for some of that stuff, not on defense, that first drive, calling some stuff that kind of got our guys running around a little bit, not getting lined up. And
I know you would. You would take that. I do want to point out that a team that's executing the way they are, to come into our house and immediately go fast tempo says something about their respect for their opponent.
Yeah, and their coaching staff was very complimentary before the game, just about how we got their attention on tape, and they knew it was going to be a 4-quarter game, and so that's how you show your respect to an opponent, that you prepare and that you just don't go out and just we're going to come out and beat this team. That they had to make some adjustments, they had to do some things that they didn't do originally to come out and try to gain an advantage.
Right.
So, I definitely think they respected us on tape, and hopefully they, respected us by the way we played in the game. But, that's a good team, and they executed well, and at times better than us that they were able to get a lead, and but our kids kept fighting, and we were, never really out of the game from a mindset point, and our guys battled to the end, and we made it interesting there in the fourth quarter a little bit with a late score. But just again, I'm glad we got the opportunity to play that game and see what a team like that can do.
For sure. And you're right. There were a lot of players that played some of their best football on Friday night. And we have a large selection of clips to take a look at tonight. So we're going to open up with the defensive clip with Caden Cordes and with a tackle for a loss.
Caden, sophomore guy that's been thrown into the fire, playing multiple positions, but he's a football player and just does a great job of just sniffing out the ball. He's a really good tackler, knows his assignments very well, and he puts himself in position to make plays. And just another example there of another tackle for loss. I mean, I think he's only started for about 5 games now. Started playing in probably the 4th game or so. And has done a great job and is leading our team right now in tackles for loss.
Yeah, you can tell. I mean, there's several plays. I may have had to cut out some plays of his.
Yeah.
But he had a very good game, and that team had a lot of speed. And for him to track him down and get a tackle for loss, that was great. Here, take a look at this next play. It's a long pass on their sideline. I couldn't figure out which receiver got this, and I was live at the game too, but you'll know, Coach.
Yeah, so this is Jake Baker, tight end there. Formation that we typically run the ball with the quarterback out of. Just a perfect scenario for that on a short yardage situation, and Gabe delivered a great throw right there, great catch by Jake, and
he's becoming a weapon for you.
He
too,
is.
huh?
He is. He's gotten better every single week on offense, defense, and just a kid that's really grown with his body. I think last year he was 170 pounds maybe when the season ended. He's at 205 pounds right now, so it just shows the work that he's put in and how that's paying off.
Absolutely. So we're going to go to this next play. It's Big Nor, and they start to double team him, kind of splits the double team. They come off, but he holds his gap and makes a nice play.
And this is what these big guys do best. They're hard to move. They sit in their gaps really well, and he has those long arms. He does a great job of getting extension off the O-line. And that ball was forced to kind of cut back to him. And, at 320 pounds, he's a hard guy to run into. And you're probably going to go backwards when he hits you square like that.
And then we're going to come up to DeMarzio. DeMarzio had quite the night running the football.
Yeah, another guy that's getting better every single week, carrying the load at back pretty much by himself there. And, this is, it's making safeties miss when we get to the 3rd level, making that guy miss right there. And then you see his speed. Wish he would kind of run to the pylon here as opposed to staying a couple yards inbounds. I don't think he thought he was going to get caught, but a great effort pursuit play by their defensive player. But he had multiple big runs like this, and again, he's playing his best football at the end of his senior year. And that's what you always hope for in a developmental program, that the guys keep getting better.
I also thought he showed a lot of senior leadership. When Gabe went out hurt, it seemed like he ran even harder.
Yeah, really proud of him, and just the way, his effort and the way he expects to make big plays, and he wants the ball in big situations now. And, I think just, a great leadership by him.
Yeah, that was fantastic. We got a couple other clips of his. Here's a nice perimeter tackle by Cortis. I think it's a bubble or a stay pass coming up. He does a good job getting off the block and making a play.
Kind of gets out, lined up late. Might have confused the receiver a little bit, but again, great feel by him, knowing he's got to set the edge and get everything turned back to our backers and safeties there. And, he's got a knack for getting guys wrapped up and on the ground.
Yeah, he does a nice job. But usually if he can get on them, they do go down. We're going to go into another nice run by DiMarzio. I think this is a more physical run by him. It's not a lot of yards. Of course, it is like at least 9, I think, but just physical.
First down, our goal on first and second down is to stay on schedule, meaning we're getting 4 yards of play. So it's a great job by him feeling out the blocks right there in the puller, getting behind them. And anytime you can get more than 4 yards on first down, that keeps us on schedule, keeps us on our base plays, where we can run or throw the ball just based on what the situation gives us there. And I think he got about 7 yards on that. So going into a second down and 3, that gives us a great chance to get a first down in the next 2 downs.
Defense in a bad position, offense in a good position, like baseball. All right, here we go. We're going to go to Beard here. He ends up extending out to the sidelines. I don't know if he could get the rush that he wanted, but he gets the knockdown. Little
boot play here. Great job by him staying square, feeling out the play, then getting back down the line of scrimmage to go try to get to the quarterback here. And he's just a great athlete for how big he is. You see him play baseball, the way he can throw, hit, catch. He's just a great athlete. And, he's been a huge part of our success this year on defense. And, he was mad at himself that he didn't catch that one-handed. So great play by him. And he's got a knack for getting to the football and especially getting knockdowns like that. And then we're going to follow right up with another play by him, which is a tackle for a loss. Yeah, this is where he's really grown as a defensive player. When we blitz guys off the edge, he's going away from where that blitz is coming from. So, they're a zone blocking team. So, that quick movement inside, using great technique, really pushing off his outside foot there, and then understanding where that back was aligned pre-snap, that helps him a lot, understanding where that play is going to go. And he was able to really dart in there and make a good play. It's kind of a shame that, this is his first year and you really see him really fitting into the position. Yeah, and he's, I think he's going to go play baseball in college, but there's going to, I think he's going to be surprised by how many teams that will want him to come play football for them once that kind of small school recruiting starts here in the next month or two. But he's again, same thing, getting better every single week. The guy, he fits in really well with who we are as a team. He's a great person. He's a great student. And, I think he's having a lot of fun playing football. But I know you were excited about him. You were excited about him early on because you could see where his potential is, and he's really developed into that potential now. And he's played a good all season, but his play has gotten better. Absolutely. Every single week, and just getting a feel for the game and what we're trying to do, what we're asking him to do. And, we push the limits with him. Just, sometimes early in the season, he was rusty playing out there. He hadn't played in the system ever before. So just learning the base stuff. And now we can expand that with using a strong set of his quickness too, even though he's big and strong. So we're going to come up. I picked this play out specifically because I knew you'd like it. It's an outside-in tackle by Cortis. Yeah. This is the hardest tackle in football to make, is when you're kind of out on an island and the guy's running at you with the ball. So just, tough spot. We missed a couple tackles there, but a really good technique by Caden, keeping his outside leverage, wrapping up the thighs, and then getting a quarterback that was big and strong and hard to tackle, getting him down for a very minimal gain there. And that's a drill we do every single week. So I was just going to say, the people watching may not know it. Your players and your coaches know that you do that drill every week. Yeah. But I know how important it is, and I know how difficult it is. And that's a clip I highlighted on clips that I save for maybe when I have to go do a clinic talk this off season. Show the drills that we do, and then here's how it translates directly to the game. So that's great job by a really young player.
Yes.
Translating what we're teaching in practice to.
It was clinic film, that's for sure. We're going to go back to Cordis here. We've got. I'm sorry. Going to go back to a sideline catch here by Quinn. I think it was Quinn here.
Yeah, it's a great job by Quinn getting a little rollout pass right here, running a little just a kind of a made up route that we had this week. To kind of it was really a single man route targeted for Quinn, just based off the coverage that they were showing to that formation, and really well executed. Great throw, great catch by Quinn, getting 1 foot down on the sideline.
I had to rewind that back several times. I was trying to zero in. Mm-hmm. Show that again, Rob. That was a great catch. The guy in the middle of the field Friday night called it no catch, but the guy in the sidelines, he was there and he called it a catch.
Yeah, the outside two receivers are running little, kind of little X route right there, trying to stay kind of, near to rub those guys, and then that inside safety had to take him all the way out to the sideline. So getting the quarterback on the move, great throw by Cody, and tremendous catch by Quinn.
All right, back to DiMarzio, making another nice run late in the game here.
This was a big run here, keeping this drive going. Again, I think this is 2nd down and 5, so we were able to stay on schedule, stay on what we were doing. They're a big blitz team, so great job by our O-line communicating the look they were giving us and picking that up and then getting that thing downhill before that outside blitzer was able to get there, and then keeping his feet moving and getting down the field inside the 10-yard line there.
And talking about the line, I thought the line did a nice job during the night. Did make some adjustments, did get bodies on bodies, created some holes and nice running lanes and protection too.
Well, I thought that was the best defensive front, and with all the blitzes they did, that was, I think, by far the best whole game that our O-line played. Mm-hmm. And our big guys up front with Trevor Burek and Aiden Norris, they played their best game in that game. And they understand that when college coaches are watching the tape, when they see Cincinnati, we played Cincinnati, LaSalle, that's the first game they're going to turn on. And I thought those guys really raised their level in that game, understanding not only the importance to our team, but for their futures too, playing their best games and really getting some great movement on some really good players.
So our last play is very indicative of the teams that you coach. They play to the last play of the game. And it's a great play here. You got senior Bryce Johnson picking up this scoop and score.
Yeah, Bryce coming back out for football as a senior, still figuring it out. Just the position we were asking him to play is not really what he played moving up, but it was kind of the simplest thing and a need for us in terms of depth-wise where he can help out. They put some of their backups in. They were up by, I think, 3 scores at this point. But great effort play. They fumbled the snap, but, we got guys running the ball. And Bryce doing a great job scooping that up, and then we got guys busting tail to get out in front of their guys trying to chase them, and we get a touchdown there, and we go for 2 and get the 2-point conversion. Next thing you know, we're down by 11. We didn't get the onside kick after this, but great job by Bryce coming in. He doesn't get to play as much as he probably hopes for, but he has a great attitude, gives great effort in practice every single day. He's on a lot of special teams, does a great job on those. And, just a great reward for a guy like that.
He's got something that not a lot of people have.
That's right.
He scored a touchdown.
That's right. Scores every time he touches the ball.
Yeah. Rob, we're going to go back. I want to show something. And, Coach, like you said, I think they were up by 3 scores at that time. This puts you down by 2 scores when he scores this touchdown. But watch your sidelines. These are the things that, we talk about the passion, excitement that your kids have. If you even see yourself, you're talking about what going for 1 or 2. I think you're coming down, but watch your sideline and the excitement they have for this position in the game.
Well, at the end of the day, we tell our kids it's how much do we love each other, right? And that's earned every day by how we operate in practice. And these guys go out and execute the defense exactly how it's supposed to be done. And just you watch the sideline, it just shows how much our guys care for, not only to win the game, get back in the game here, but for a guy like Bryce that's deserving of an opportunity like that, and to go in and capitalize on that. I just, that embodies who we are as a team, that we never give up, that we're always stay in the fight and always have hope.
Yeah, and above all everything else, you're a team and excited for each other, and that was great to see. All right, Coach. So we are heading into Week 10. Can't believe it. I said it already, but football season goes so fast. We got the Wooster Generals coming in. We have senior night. So talk to us a little bit about Wooster.
Worcester, they have not won a game yet, but they're a dangerous team because they have a ton of skill. They got a senior, all 5 O linemen up front are seniors. They're playing young kids. I think there's a new coach this year, so there's been some guys that have left the program that were older players, and they're really investing in the young guys and doing a great job. I mean, that's I showed the team a clip, a playlist of about 10 plays to start the week of, don't look at their record, right? These 10 plays are who you're playing right now, and they were all explosive plays or tackles for loss on defense. They're very aggressive on defense. They have great skill on offense. They're playing a freshman quarterback that's going to be a really good player, and is doing some really good things right now. So they're a dangerous team. But this is Week 10. We have to win the game to get in the playoffs or to have a chance to get in the playoffs.
They're guarding the gates
this
of
is
the
the
playoffs.
playoffs, right?
Yes.
Our guys know that what this game means, to have it at home and be senior night, with just such a special group of seniors that have come through. We're sophomores. Our staff's first year coming in. It's just we have such a special bond with this group, and it's just such a great group of leaders. Guys that are going to go out in the world and do great things, be great fathers, be great husbands. So it's just, it's a special night to be able to honor those kids. Their last game playing at home. We're not going to get a home playoff game. It's been bittersweet this week at practice. Those guys don't want to leave the field for their last, potentially could be their last Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday practice. So they're savoring it, and you just see how much they love football, how much they love being around each other, and it's great to get those guys recognized for their last night. Yeah, and it's a playoff type of game. So
it is. It's the gateway to the playoffs. And speaking of that, so we've got the playoffs here, and we've already spoken about the fact that you need this win. Okay. And talk to us a little bit about your scenarios or maybe some information that could help us.
Well, we have to win the game, right? And then there's a bunch of scenarios out there. So, the most important thing is we focus on what we control, and that's winning the game, right? And, there's a couple scenarios out there that if all these teams win, we might be on the outside looking in, right? But then there's, with the way the Ohio high school playoffs work, there's a bunch of secondary points that you can get by teams that we've beaten, that they go win too, right? So we're cheering on every team that we've beat. Hopefully they all win and get us those secondary points to raise our resume as high as we can. And we're rooting against the teams that the teams that are right there in that mix
fighting
with us,
for the same spot,
right? That are fighting for that same spot. That those teams that they beat lose, so they get the lowest amount of point total. But at the end of the day, right, we're going to go out and control what we can control. We've had a great week of practice so far, and it's a playoff game, and it's victory or death. And
you're right, and it's exciting. You're working on the opportunity to get to 6-4, and to get above that. You're 500 already, but we want to be better than that, and 6-4, and give yourself at least you've done the work to get yourself an opportunity to get in the playoffs, and so that's exciting. You also have your senior walk Friday night after the game. So folks that come out to the game can stick around. Tell us a little bit about the senior walk.
Yeah, it's a special thing that we've done. We line up on one end of the field with all the seniors and coaches, and we lock arms and walk the length of the field for the last time together on our home field. Right. All of our other players are in the other end zone. We go down there, they kind of hug it out down there, and then the seniors walk back to the other side of the field and get to embrace with their families and whatnot, and just enjoy that last time kind of going down and back on our home field under the lights there, and hopefully that's after a victory. And
going back and ringing the bell.
Correct. Yeah. So.
Fantastic. Coach, anything else about the program? I did want to say maybe a little bit about Touchdown Club. They're at the Axe Sterling.
Yeah, so this week's another open meeting. So anybody that doesn't have to be a member can show up to the meeting. Just trying to get as many people as we can. We honor our players of the week from the wins within the program. So the couple JV wins from the last couple weeks, which those young guys deserve recognition.
Yeah.
And a lot of our older players go there to help support those guys getting those players of the week. And but it's free axe throwing, free bowling. All the games are open, and guys come and hang out, get to meet some of the players. You want to meet the players, meet the coaching staff, intermingle with the people of the Touchdown Club, and
Right.
and hopefully gain a couple more members or donations, and just see just how great of a job and how well organized our club is, and how much they provide for our players to survive through just not only a 10-week season, but hopefully 11, 12, 13, 14,
Right.
15 weeks. Those funds got to stretch a long way when you're
It's not
getting
cheap
to the
to
playoffs.
feed kids.
It's not at all.
Most people know that. Awesome, Coach. Well, this is exciting. It's week 10. You're at home. It feels like football more than any other night. I think it's going to feel like that. Very, very cold and chilly. And but the Leopards will be heating it up, I'm sure.
Yeah.
It's exciting, Coach. Well, again, I appreciate you coming in tonight. I know it's a long season. It goes fast, but it's also long. It's a lot of work, a lot of events. And appreciate you coming by, Coach, and taking the time to be with us. And I appreciate you being with us tonight on Kappas Coach's Corner on YSN Live.
YSN thanks you for watching this presentation of Your Sports Network. For stories, stats, and more, go to ysnlive.com.